Hey everybody, back with another WWE DVD review. This time I'm going to jump to way back on the calendar, 2003 in fact, for the 2003 Royal Rumble DVD. I just recently picked this up as part of their Tagged Classics collection. This was paired with No Way Out from the same year, the following month. I just checked out this DVD. I've been in the Royal Rumble spirit because of obviously the 2011 Royal Rumble being held yesterday, so just checked this out, just finished it today. Thought I'd share my thoughts on this DVD and recommend it. I do want to recommend it to people. This is one of the better Royal Rumble cards to date, and definitely loved a lot of the pre-show or pre-Rumble matches on the card, as well as the actual Rumble itself. Very fascinating Royal Rumble. The first match on the show was Brock Lesnar versus Big Show for the final spot in the actual Royal Rumble. Pretty decent match. This was, of course, Brock Lesnar and Big Show were feuding mainly in part because of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman abandoned Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar turned face because Heyman joined up with Big Show. Brock Lesnar prevailed in a long match, a very grueling match, very power-based match, with Brock Lesnar prevailing and the crowd clearly behind Brock early in his face turn. That was followed up with a World Tag Team Championship match between Lance Storm and William Regal versus the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys actually won the World Tag Team Championships at this match. A great match. Very un-Dudley-like, though. The Dudleys kind of wrestled more the style of Storm and Regal in this one. But I certainly enjoyed the match and certainly love watching the Dudleys claim Tag Team Gold once again. Follow that up with probably the worst match of the year, probably. Mainly because of the awful storyline that went with it. Tori Wilson versus Dawn Marie in the first ever stepdaughter-stepmother match. Al Wilson, Tori's dad, had just recently died of oversexing at the hands of Dawn Marie, and the two decided to settle their differences in the ring. Anyways, Tori Wilson wound up winning this match. She looked really hot. That was about it. Then they had Triple H versus Scott Steiner in one of the worst matches that I have ever seen between two guys who are A-quality wrestlers. Just a horrible match. These guys had no chemistry. It's like they didn't even plan the match before they went out there. They played up the fact that Triple H was afraid of Scott Steiner, but once the match actually started, Scott Steiner was terribly sloppy. Triple H, his timing was way off. It once again proved that as far as carrying a match is concerned, Triple H is not one of the elite wrestlers in the business. He was basically asked to carry Scott Steiner in this match and couldn't do it. So it just wound up being total garbage. The crowd was pissed at points. The crowd really wanted to root for somebody in this match, but man, what a brutal match to watch. Oh, and to think that they faced off again and No Way Out. I'm going to be checking that DVD out. Can't wait to not want to watch that. Then they had let me rephrase this. They followed that with the polar opposite, perhaps the greatest championship match in Royal Rumble history, and in my personal opinion, the second greatest match I've ever seen. Kurt Angle defending his WWE title against Chris Benoit. The first greatest match on my list, Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker for the undisputed title in a ladder match. That was the greatest match I've ever seen, but this one was darn close. Tons of countering, followed up with stealing each other's moves and a lot of mat wrestling, and just Chris Benoit was one of the few wrestlers that could actually match Kurt Angle's intensity in the ring and even exceed it. And watching these two guys beat the holy hell out of each other was awesome. Absolutely love this match. This match is worth buying this Rumble DVD for. I've got to say, check this match out as the true wrestling classic. But then we come to why everybody was at the show in the first place. The actual Royal Rumble match. 30 superstars, 15 from Raw, 15 from SmackDown. Just to kind of bring everybody into 2003, here's who was actually in the match. From Raw, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Chris Nowinski, Christian, Tommy Dreamer, Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, Rosie and Jamal, Test, Booker T, Kane, Maven, Goldust, and making his Rumble debut, Batista. And from SmackDown, Rey Mysterio, Edge, Chavo Guerrero, Tajiri, Bill DeMott, B2, Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, Rikishi, A-Train, Brock Lesnar, and The Undertaker. Now, it's pretty clear from reading off those names that SmackDown was roster deficient at that time. So guys like B2 got into this match, and Bill DeMott, guys who made no impact on the wrestling business during their WWE runs. But it was a great match. They played it up with Shawn Michaels being the number one entrant per the order of Vince McMahon. Chris Jericho won a match to pick his entry number and chose number 2 so that he could best Shawn Michaels and win it from the start. He pulled off a hooker crook to eliminate Shawn Michaels right off the top with the help of Christian, and then Jericho would make a phenomenal run through the match until late in the Rumble match. Shawn Michaels came running back to ringside, entered the ring, beat up Chris Jericho, and allowed Test, of all people, to toss Jericho from the ring. Jericho had tons of near scares and near eliminations in this match. Loved his work in this one. Just looking through some of the other... Tommy Dreamer came out with some weapons, hit a few people, and got tossed. Rob Van Dam had a great showing. He actually made it to the final 6 in this one. Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy teased some good bits there. Rosie and Jamal had a pretty good showing. Rosie, Jamal, and Rikishi were all in the ring at the same time. I can't believe the ring didn't collapse. Those 3 guys, so agile for their size. Loved watching their work. Kane had another great showing, as he always does. Maven, this was the year after Maven had eliminated The Undertaker. Maven's glory in this one was being eliminated by The Undertaker in a fit of revenge on the part of Taker. Goldust came out way late in and was eliminated before the next guy could get to the ring. He came out to a pretty decent pop for that time. Batista, they definitely played up the fact that Batista was going to be a main eventer because he was in the final 4 of this one. Rey Mysterio had a great showing. He lasted a while. Edge had a great showing. Had a bit with Christian that was great. Had some really good eliminations. Speared Chavo off the apron to eliminate him. Chavo was in this match. They had a lot of cruiserweights in this match. Tajiri had a couple of good bits. Crowd loved the guy. Bill DeMott wasted time. B2 didn't last more than like 45 seconds, I think. Matt Hardy had a pretty good showing. He was in the ring for a very long time in this one. Eddie Guerrero had a rather quiet Royal Rumble. It's funny because a year and a month later, he'd be winning the the WWE title. John Cena, he came out and did a rap. This was back when he had just broke up with B2, and he was out rapping on his own as a bad guy. Crowd didn't really care for the rap, but you can tell back then John Cena had some talent because he pulled off the rap. Didn't really do a whole lot in the actual match, though. Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, Team Angle, actually got a couple of eliminations. They were really entertaining to watch. A-Train really got put over in this one. I was really surprised at how much they pushed A-Train. Him and Test were really pushed hard in this Royal Rumble, and kind of surprising because neither guy really went anywhere after that. Then you had The Undertaker. He would actually make it to the final 2 with Brock Lesnar. Lesnar had to win a match to get in it, and then wound up being number 29 to the ring, with Undertaker being number 30, and the final 2 men standing were number 29 and 30. Traded some blows, traded some moves, and Brock Lesnar was able to eliminate The Undertaker after Undertaker was distracted eliminating Kane. So this was obviously where they strapped the rocket to Lesnar as a face and said, head for the moon. And they did a really good job of booking that match to make Brock Lesnar look really strong. He eliminated a few people when he first got to the ring, then survived the onslaught of the masses. The final 6, probably the heaviest final 6 you'll ever see in a Royal Rumble, with Undertaker, Kane, Batista, Brock Lesnar, A-Train, and RVD being the final 6 men standing. I do want to say, though, it's kind of sad watching this DVD. There are parts during the DVD where there's 10 or 11 men in the ring at one time, and there's actually more dead wrestlers in the ring than there are current WWE employees. So that's kind of sad. Eddie Guerrero, Test, one of the members of 3 Minute Warning. It's kind of sad, kind of a testament of, unfortunately, how many wrestlers we've lost in such a short amount of time. But getting back to the actual match, though, a great Royal Rumble, very entertaining, very good booking. A lot of the eliminations made sense. They were entertaining. Wrestlers got their due. It wasn't a lot of wasted time. And so I would recommend this DVD. The Royal Rumble 2003, I would give a 4 out of 5 on the heels of a good Rumble match and a phenomenal WWE title match. But stay away from Triple H and Scott Steiner and Tori Wilson and Don Marie. Two awful, awful matches kept this card from being a 5 out of 5. So that's my review of the 2003 Royal Rumble. My next DVD review is going to be the 2003 No Way Out pay-per-view. As I'm going to go ahead and continue through 2003 with these DVD reviews. So I'll hope to see you back with that review in the coming days.